Hey Trekkies, welcome back to another Yelling About Star Trek video. My name is Christian Fox, and this is a show where I yell at you about all things Star Trek for your amusement. Today, I want to do something a little bit different and a little bit experimental and talk about a video game because normally I do the movies, I do the TV shows, I sometimes even talk about books possibly, but I don't really talk about video games. But today, I want to talk about the new Xbox Bethesda game, Starfield, because I think that if the game is as good as we all hope it's going to be, then it's very likely going to be the best Star Trek game in modern times. And now I say this for a number of reasons. One, the whole game is about exploration. Todd Howard came on stage and talked about the game, of course, but at the very end, he said, hey, look, you can go to hundreds of planets. And that's pretty wild. You can explore. If you've played Skyrim before, or if you've played Fallout, or maybe you've played Oblivion, which are all Bethesda games, all pretty much designed by Todd Howard or with Todd Howard at the helm. And those games were phenomenal for exploration. It was not even necessarily about completing the main storyline, but rather just about wandering and exploring and just really living in the moments and being like, what's over there? What is beyond that hill? What's in that cave? What's in that village? Who can I talk to? What adventures will I go on? And now you can do this in space. And when you talk about space and exploration, what franchise comes to mind? Now, I'm assuming if you're watching this channel, then you're like, hey, it's Star Trek, because that's what it's about. If you remember, with any of the series, the captains are always like, ooh, what's that thing over there? That looks kind of cool. Why don't we go check it out? I mean, Kirk was notorious for it, Picard, and definitely Archer, who was just like every episode was like, ooh, this looks interesting. Let's go do this exciting thing. Let's go see that comet over there. Let's go to this monastery. Let's go to this planet that looks mysterious. And then, of course, they would do that and craziness would ensue. And Starfield seems to really capture that feeling. And this is just going by the gameplay trailer. The game is not out yet, probably won't come out till next year. People are thinking maybe May 2023. So all of my feelings and my theories, and same with everyone else, comes from the about 20-minute gameplay reveal that happened a few weeks ago on the Xbox stage. And from that, it seems like the exploration is going to be fantastic. And I played Skyrim to death. I played way too much Oblivion when I was in high school. I remember one time I should have been studying for a test and may or may not have told a friend that, oh, I can't come over today because I'm studying for a test. But then, in fact, I was playing Oblivion and I was in the arena where you could basically live out your gladiator fantasies. And so I didn't go. And of course I was found out. But I played that game way too much. But between Skyrim and Oblivion, all I can remember are the moments of just, as I said, looking around the map and seeing a hill or seeing a cave or seeing something that looked interesting and going, ooh, I'm going to go check that out. I'm going to go walk over there and I'm going to see what that is all about. So I think Starfield really has that potential of capturing the feeling of exploration that Star Trek often invokes and that we see. So because of that, I really think Starfield has the potential to capture that spirit of exploration. Now, another reason I think it's going to feel a lot like Star Trek, or at least as close to Star Trek as any modern game that is currently out, is because of the ships. So the ships look cool. They look amazing. You can build your own ships. You can customize them, which I think is going to be great. Now, the ships themselves don't look like they're from Star Trek. They're very, more modern-ish and more, I'm not even sure what you'd call it, but like more space pirate than Starfleet, if that makes any sense. But what does feel like Star Trek when it comes to the ships is the ability to reroute power. And I know this is an incredibly nerdy specific thing, but the idea that you can pull a Captain Picard and say, Mr. LaForge, reroute power from the shields to the weapons, or reroute power from life support to the shields, or whatever you want to do, you can do that in this game. And I think that is really cool. And when Todd Howard was talking about that mechanic, he said he was influenced by the game FTL. And FTL is very much like a Star Trek game in the sense that you do command a ship and you have a crew and your crew dies and consoles explode and you can reroute power to different systems. So the fact that he is taking that cue from FTL really makes me feel like it's going to feel like Star Trek. Even if it doesn't always feel like it, the very fact that you can reroute power to different systems, I think is probably one of the most Star Trek things ever. So I really think that mechanic is going to really add to the Star Trek feel of the game. So when you combine all of those things, means that this game to me has the potential of being the next best Star Trek game in modern times. But what about you? Do you agree with me that it might be the best Star Trek game in modern times, or am I totally off base? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And in the paraphrased words of Captain Kirk, I shall see you out there. That away.